want to talk about is the Aiden Hutchinson sack, which led to an injury that is pretty devastating. And Tony, we talked about it a little bit. I wanted to kind of get more in depth. He is kind of the heart and soul of that defensive line.
He's the heart and soul of the team in some ways, just with his energy, his leadership, him being a part of the rebuilding of the organization, the way he carried himself and was able to do it before he got to the Lions at Michigan and get them in a place to be Big Ten champs, beat Ohio State, all those things. But definitely the heart and soul of the defense. No doubt about it. It's going to be a tough loss. I think it'll take a few games, and then they'll be able to make the adjustment.
Do you think they look from within to fill that spot? I know for me, with him being such a fantastic defensive lineman, you almost, if you're Brad Holmes, you almost have to look outside the organization. Maybe go out and get a Hassan Reddick, or I would love to see them go out and get Max Crosby from the Raiders, but I think that's a long shot. Is there anybody out there on a team that's not playing well that you think that they could possibly go out and get? What do you think, Co?
I don't know, man. This can be season changing if you don't figure out something. It's going to be tough. I don't know what Brad Holmes has in his bag of tricks, or you guys do have a guy that's willing to make some moves and do things. So we'll see how it goes. But I think this changes a lot in regards to the Lions moving forward. This is colossal. This is big. So we'll see how this works out. And I hate to see this for this kid. But yeah, it's a big deal.
What I really take from this is James Houston's really, even though he was a healthy scratch today, he's going to have to step up. And we've seen him in flashes a couple seasons ago with some good sacks. Do you think he could be a viable replacement to give them good production on that defensive end, Tony?
I do. You're going to have to find some support, though. If Max Crosby, to me, just, in comparing what you guys are talking about as far as bringing somebody in, fits the mantra of the Detroit Lions a little different than Hassan Reddick. Mm-hmm. Hassan Reddick is in it. He wants a contract. Mm-hmm. He wants a long-term. He wants guaranteed money. Yes. And I think the Lions aren't built that way. Right. That's not who they are. That's not the culture. Right. That's not what they're about. Mm-hmm. They're about the team. They're trying to, I think, follow in the footsteps of the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick in some of the ways and how they do things culture-wise. Mm-hmm. I think Crosby would be someone who they could bring in and be obviously high energy, very effective, almost unblockable kind of a guy. Mm-hmm.
So with an injury like this on the defensive line, obviously with Hutch, how does, as a defensive coordinator, how do you game plan that now? Well,
you're going to have to find ways to – that's a great question – to strengthen your defense as a whole. When you have a guy like Aiden Hutchinson, he's able to make plays that aren't called in the defensive playbook. Right. Now you're going to have to be even better at your play calling as a defensive coordinator. That's all that's going to happen, guys. I'm just going to be completely transparent with you. The defensive coordinator for the Lions is going to have to be really, really good at the calls that he makes. And he's going to have to be on point, and he's going to have to be able to match what offenses are trying to do to them, because you don't have a guy who's coming off the edge that's going to be so disruptive so consistently as Aiden was for the Lions.
Do you look to maybe an outside linebacker to fill that kind of role?
No.
As a passer? Okay.
No. So you don't change personnel when it comes to, like, putting a different guy down that position. That NFL, that's not how it works. Okay. The guys who are on the roster are going to have to step up, and they're going to have to run the system that they have in play. Mm-hmm. And guys who have not been asked to do things at that level are going to be asked to step up all around, the whole defense. The defensive line as a core are going to have to step up. The linebackers are going to have to play better. The secondary is going to have to play better because they're not going to have the luxury of a guy like that coming off the edge, putting pressure on the quarterback, where you would normally – the ball's coming out, a little bit sooner than it likes to come out, and you as a DB or linebacker are able to make some plays that you're able to make because of Aiden. Right. You don't have that luxury at this point. So now you got to be even more disciplined as a group. You got to be even more technique sound, and you got to be even more in a position to where you understand and know that it's a paying attention to detail type of setting for your defense.
Losing a guy like this, they did play pretty heads-up football even after Hutch was out. They still seem to be pretty – I mean, I know Dallas is pretty depleted, but, I mean, they still seem to play pretty good. Is it, who needs to step up in that defense? On that defense, or maybe even the defense, is it a Lee McNeil? Is it a Alex Anzalone? Who needs to step up as a leader? What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, man, the Hutch thing. Like, well, first of all, I think the Lions beat Dallas with D-Law and Micah today. They just looked the part today. Second, the linebackers. I think you mentioned Anzalone. Like, I still don't, and I give the defense the game ball. That's my game ball, the defense. Okay. Dallas scored what, 9 points?
Yep.
Yeah. Defense gets the game ball to me.
Yep.
Even the corners look good. You know, CD didn't get off. No, so they get the game ball. But now it's the next man up mentality.
Yep.
And I think the linebackers have to come in now and do what they're supposed to do. Be better. You have to be better. Blank mentioned it. You got a game plan now. You don't have that guy that gets – this disruptive. Even when he's not getting sacks, he's still getting pressures.
Yep.
So you got to find. I think it's the linebacking core that's going to have to step up and make plays, make a lot of plays. You got a tough opponent next week.
Yeah, I think Aaron Glenn's going to have to do a little bit more blitzing than he likes to do.
Okay.
Because you don't have the pressure off the edges to just send 4 guys.
Yeah.
And just have a 4-man rush. You're going to have to send an extra guy here and there. You got to take some more chances, which puts more pressure on your DBs. So those guys got to play a lot better as well because of it.